Hi, everyone, and welcome to your July energy reading. Happy Canada Day to my fellow Canadians, and happy 4th of July to my American friends. Okay, so we all have big celebrations at the very 1st of July. That's always exciting for everyone. A lot of family time, friend time, traveling time, celebration. So lots of fireworks. So let's get right into the July energy and what it's going to be, the energy that's going to be coming in and surrounding you. This is coming in from God's source universe, your spirit guides, your ancestors, whomever it is that you go to for your higher power. So we have 3 piles. These cards actually are out of each individual pile. So we have pile 1 with eccentricity. We have pile 2 with impulsiveness, and we have pile 3 with riches. You can also go with 11, 1, or 10 for the numbers. You can also go by the signs Saturn, Aquarius, Mars, Aries, Saturn, Capricorn. So, or maybe it's just going to be the artwork on the card or the actual pile number itself. However you want to choose 1, 2, or 3. I will see you in your pile. Hi to those of you who chose pile 1, this card, eccentricity, Saturn, Aquarius, or the number 11, or just, again, the card, the artwork in general. This is your overall reading. This is part of the pile, so I'm just going to pull it down here while I get the other cards out, because I do shuffle them in a particular order because of the way I asked for the cards to work together, which will be in individual groups, and then overall, we will have live tarot and live oracle at the end. So overall energy, 7th house, okay, and Gemini. So Gemini in the 7th house. Ooh, that is interesting. You guys, we have been getting, in my readings that I've been doing for this last week and moving into next week, because I'll do them, sometimes a few days ahead of time, or occasionally the day of, but usually a few days ahead of time. And if I'm really lucky, I can get them done a week ahead of time. And there has been a lot of 7th house, a lot of 5th house, a lot of relationship stuff, a lot of 1st house, okay, and a lot of my energy readings. So look, God's source universe at this point, regardless of what the energy is, whether it's mermaid or unicorn or whatever that I'm doing, dragon, it doesn't matter. They are coming in with these relationship messages. So this is really, really important right now, I'm guessing. Anyway, let me get on with it and get the rest of the cards out. We have Cosmic Flower, Virgo. We have Leadership, and then this is the card that I asked to go with that one. So Eccentricity, Sensuality, and Ascendant. The 7th house is a house of partnerships. Okay, so I'm just going to read the card. I'll tell you what my usual version of it is. So this area of your life is about long-term significant partners, romantic, business, or family. And that's what I always say. It's your one-to-one relationships, your spouse, significant other, friends, family. I also throw in there business partners, colleagues, clients. It can also be about legal affairs. Okay, so anything to do with contracts and negotiations. And then overall, it's just about the harmony, the fairness, and the justice within those relationships, however that would work. Okay, so first off, I'm going to do each pile here individually, okay? But what I want to say, let's just talk about Gemini in there. So the energy that's coming in around you is, I think you can take it however it is that you need to take it, whether it is romantic, business, or family, friend, okay? But look, we have 2 people here, the 2 fish, right? The twins. They're not fish, that's Pisces. Never mind, they were just reminding me of fish, so I said that for a reason. I don't know what it is yet, but anyway, the two twins. Okay, so this is, look, here, two people, here, two hands, all right? Here, half animal, mammal, half human, okay? So we're working in twos here, so I really, very strongly about the partnerships. But what I want to say is with Gemini, I feel like this is going to be a partnership that's going to be very intellectual. You are both going to be very curious. You're going to be very intellectual when it comes to your thinking, the way you think, the way you communicate, the way you learn about things. I feel that communication is key in this relationship, whatever it is for you, okay? And I feel like it's going to be, for the most part, very clear and thought out communication. Sometimes with Gemini, they can get a bit scattered because that mind is just going, going. There's so many things to think about, right? It's moving really fast. And so it can get distracted. Okay. So sometimes that's why I say it can be a little hectic. It can get a little confused, or, it's kind of like when someone says squirrel and, your attention changes, right? So, but I feel like together I don't know why. Because of all these pictures, the way they're together and touching, and it's blending together. I feel that it might actually bring stability to all of that. So that's kind of interesting. I feel like your curious, busy minds are going to bring stability to one another. And part of that is because what I'm seeing here with Virgo and this wheat, and it comes from the ground. Ground, we think balance, we think groundedness, calmness, finding your center. We sometimes with the earth signs, or I guess with the earth element, we do, or I do anyway. That's what's coming in, right? Because that's the way I see it. It's that grounding earth energy. The wheat comes from the earth. So I feel like the two of you are going to, one, work very well together. I think that you are going to be balanced and grounded together. All right, let's look here at Cosmic Flower. So the frequency of the cosmic flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home. Oh, how perfect. The core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. Okay, you guys. Also, like I was saying, you guys are just going to, fit. You're just going to balance. This right here is also telling me the keywords in that card for me were feels, or a place we call home. I feel that this person coming into your life is just going to be comfortable. They are going to feel like they've always been there, or that you've always known them. They're going to feel like home to you. They could remind you of a person from your hometown, from your community, even a friend or someone that you know now, a family member, right? It's just going to feel comfortable. And here with leadership and eccentricity, I also feel, and I liked here, it's how you, the core from which you pour your magnificence out into the world. Yeah, the two of you could be a power couple, whether it's, again, in relationship, family, friendship, or business. I feel like you both are really taking on those Gemini attributes, right, of being the thinkers, the learners, the teachers, right? So it kind of reminds me of the Hierophant card, which is being, I know that is Taurus, but it doesn't matter. That's what's coming in, where you are not only the teacher, but you're also the student, because you love to learn. You're curious about everything. And it's that communication, I feel. But the way you two do it, it's going to be, right? It's going to be Saturn with Aquarius. It's going to be very determined and focused, but it's marching to the beat of your own drum, right? Like it's going to be, you're going to do it your own way. And whether that is the relationship itself, or I'm thinking if it were in business and you're out and, you're out in the world doing whatever it is that you're doing together, it's going to be different. I feel like it's going to be unlike anything that anyone has ever seen before, or just the way you speak about something, or the way you teach, like, right? The platform on which you do it. There's going to be something unique about it. And here with sensuality and the ascendant, because I feel that's talking about you as an individual, right? It's that first house, me, myself, and I, that while you're in this relationship, okay, that is pretty fantastic, if you ask me, just from what's been coming out so far and what's coming in. I think that it also is going to bring out that sensual side to you. And that doesn't mean, okay, let's just right off the bat, we'll just touch this topic first. Do I believe if it's a romantic relationship that the sensuality, okay, the way that the two of you respond to one another, how well suited you are for one another, in an intimate way even, is going to be off the charts? Yes. But if it's a business partner, or if it's friends or family, I believe it's going to bring out that side of you where you really appreciate what is around you. So I'm thinking things like, you go to concerts and you just love the music. Maybe you guys love to go out and eat, and it's the food and it's the most delicious food ever. And you're just like, this couldn't get any better. Or you like to go, I don't know, to festivals or markets and just being surrounded by all of that natural beauty, the color, the fruits, the vegetables, the baking, the art, whatever it is. Just, it's like all of your sensory, all of your sense, I'm trying to think of the word, all your senses, yeah. But it's like sensory overload. That's what I'm trying to say. So with that person, that could bring it out. So I feel that it's a very good thing for you, right? Like your outlook is very positive. It's very, looking for the new next best thing that's going to bring that out. And one another, you're going to do it for them. They're going to do it for you. Okay. So I feel like that's the overall message, that this person coming in, like I said, if it's business, power couple, even in relationship, it's power couple, but you're going to be out there doing what it is that you do in a very different, in a very original, unique way. But I feel like you two are it's like home. You just fit together. You just suit one another perfectly. Okay, so let's get some tarot. Clarification, confirmation, additional guidance, whatever else may come in. Let's see. Okay. We have the 7 of coins. Yes, right? The two of you planting your seeds together, nurturing them and waiting for them to grow into something great. I feel like this leadership, right? This is, or even just planting the seeds of the relationship and how you want it to be. Again, doesn't matter what relationship it is. It could be parent and child. It could be siblings. It could be husband and wife, yes. It could be a romantic. It could be someone you're dating. It could be your business partner or someone you work closely with. But you're going to be working together. See man's best friend here. They will be, and I said this in another reading because I've had so many of these type of readings, and I'm telling you, pile one, you have to check out the other ones. The same messages are coming out just in different ways, but I literally said in one of them, I know something about like man's best friend, or a dog is man's best friend. I can't remember exactly. The wheel, this is your time. This is the opportunity. When I get the Wheel of Fortune, it's moving, right? So everything's changing, everything's shifting, everything is going in your favor, okay? It is, when this person, if they're not already in your life, they're going to be coming in, you need to grab a hold of them and pull them on the wheel with you. Okay. Like that's, I don't know. I just feel that that's what needs to be said, because I feel there's like really positive things that are going to happen for you guys. And with these pentacles, it's going to be abundance. Will it be monetary? Maybe if it's in business, but if it's in personal one-to-one relationships, right? Then it's just going, like I said, it's going to fulfill you in so many ways that we can't even see. Okay, and we have another coin coming out here. So another pentacle. So again, I feel like there is going to be monetary abundance in here for some of you, not everyone. If you're not working towards anything or having a business, then probably not. But it could be two people coming together and the finances increase. It could be the two of you coming together, whether it's a business or, like I said, you just may go to the weekend market and sell fruits and vegetables. I don't know. It could be like a side hustle, right? But again, it's going to be successful for you. And with the Page of Pentacles, really that is kind of manifesting new financial opportunities, manifestation in general here with the 7. But again, it could be manifesting financial abundance for you, or just, again, abundance in your life, whether it's material or financial or sensual. Okay, so let's get one last card here, pile 1. This is really beautiful. And like I said, these relationship messages have been coming out, all of them different in their own way. This one's completely different than some of the others. But again, it's the messages that come through, the cards that come out, right? So let's get one card here to finish this off, pile 1. This is the Divine Doors. Silent skill. I challenge you to unpack your mind. In meditation's grace, the soul can unwind. Remember I said, okay, hang on. Breathe in, breathe out, let go of doubt. This is like a grounding energy. I think I had mentioned it somewhere in and around this card at the beginning, right? When you have this Virgo card, which I said is an earth sign, and earth makes me think, well, even a pentacles, right? The green, the groundedness. Yes, silent skill. I challenge you to unpack your mind. In meditation's grace, the soul can unwind. So don't, in this partnership, what I want to say with this card is that don't be afraid to take some time out for yourself. While this is all want togetherness, and you're great together and, you know, everything's going wonderfully and working wonderfully, you still not need some time for yourself. So that's what they want to say to you in this wonderful message is just be mindful to take time for yourself, sit quietly, sit in meditation. All right, that is your message, pile 1. I hope that you enjoyed it. That's the energy that's going to be coming in around you in July. And it could, you know, it could be happening now. It can even extend past July. But it's your choice, right? We have choice. So this is the energy coming in. It's whether you jump on that wheel or not and ride this out, okay? So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to. And if you know anyone that may be in this situation, please pass this message along because it could be helpful to them. Thanks so much. Hi to those of you who chose pile 2 or this impulsiveness card, whether you chose it for the artwork because it's a number 1, Mars and Aries, whatever it is, this is your pile. We're going to have overall energy. We're going to talk about the cards in pairs as well as overall. We're going to pull live tarot with more oracle at the end. But let's get started here. So impulsiveness, this card belongs to the pile. So I'll push it back in when it's time. 12th house. Ooh, like it. And Mars. Okay, well that's... I want to just say that feels contradictory to me in some way. I feel like this is tough maybe. Let's look at the rest of the cards and see. Authority, let's get the message. Conjunction, change, impulsiveness, authenticity, and Libra. Okay, let's just go to 12th house with Mars and 12th house, and let's just talk about the two of them and then the two of them together. So 12th house, you know what? One of the things about the 12th house, it's all about your imagination, right? Your dreams. It's your intuition. It can be your psychic or magical and mystical abilities. It can be secrets. It's behind the scenes. It's privacy. So sometimes people work and they could be working, think of it like someone who works behind the scenes, just as important of a job as the people out in front, but they do everything quietly, maybe more in secret behind the scenes. I also want to say that it's where you go to escape at times. I want to say that it's where you go to escape for solitude. I don't feel like this is into shadow where it's anything to do with addictions or self-sabotage, maybe for some of you, and that may relate to you. And if it does, then that's wonderful. You take that if it resonates. But I want to just say it's just a very dreamy, quiet place. It's your unconscious mind. It can be your spirituality, right? But definitely behind the scenes and private. Then we have Mars. Okay. Then we have Mars, which rules Aries. And Mars is the first house, which is all about me, 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 me. So is this, but in a private way. This is right out in your face because it's how other people see you. So that's why I said this is a bit of a contradiction. The beginning and the end of the zodiac wheel. So we could say, you know, this is the beginning. You're all out there. You're raring to go. First house. You got to make your way all the way around the wheel to where you can finally relax, go to solitude and enjoy a bit of privacy. You could think of it that way. That may resonate in some crazy way for someone, the way I said it or the way it came out. But let me kind of pull it together. What I think here is for you people in pile 2, okay, that chose this pile. You have been, I want to say, turtling away a little bit, going in your shell. Maybe you've been doing some healing for yourself. Maybe you've been withdrawing for other reasons. Maybe you just like a little peace and quiet, time to reflect, a little solitude. Maybe you go there for imagination and creativity, right? Maybe it's to tap into your unconscious mind, like I said, in solitude, self-reflection, meditation, dealing with your spirituality, but it's also your dreams. But I feel that they are behind the veil. They are kept hidden. And this Mars energy is saying not anymore. It's time for you, pile 2, whatever it is. And we're going to look at each one of these sets here. You need to get yourself out there. Here I am, Aries, or Mars in this case, but Eris, okay, the warrior. I'm coming in and I'm not allowing you to stay there. That's the energy that's coming in. I feel that you are going to feel a strong urge or sense to want to, if it's your dreams or what you do for spirituality, or if you are into the mystical, the magical, right, into the psychic, mediumship, whatever it is, it's time for you to put it out there. If you are escaping due to bad habits and shadows, it's time for you to release them, let them go, and get yourself back out there. Go out and get yourself help. But let's look at the rest of the cards. So that's what Mars, to me, in the 12th house is doing. They're just like, no more. You know what? You're not staying up there in La La Dreamland anymore. And I say that with love. Hello, I'm in La La Dreamland, right? But you know what I mean? No more. You need to start. You're a beautiful soul. And you are very tapped into the collective. And I feel like you need to help them somehow. Whether it's 1 or 2 people, a group of people, a province, a territory, a state, a country, whatever it is, you're meant to share that in some way. And that's why this Mars energy is coming in and saying, we're not allowing you to hide out anymore, pile 2. So authority. The frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is powerful, directed, and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. Right? There, this card just summed all of that. Just summed up all of that nicely, much better than me. But right, it's powerful. That's what Mars is. It's directed, absolutely. They're very focused and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. Whatever it is that you have to share, it will be received. It will be taken as wise counsel, and people will receive it in a loving way, okay? And I've even been doing, I did a channeled message about love out in the world, right? You may want to check that out. It's in one of the playlists. I have channel messages in there. They're short and sweet. But conjunction, alliance, yes. Conjunctions are when you have two planets that are within a very tight, I'm doing this within a very tight degree of one another on a natal chart. They could be like right on top of one another, same degree. They could be side by side within 1 to 2 degrees. Okay, but they're a very tight orb. That's what a conjunction is, alliance. These two working together. 12th house ruled by Pisces, ruled by Neptune, working with Mars that rules the first house in Aries, okay? Those two very opposite energies, even though they sit beside one another. Well, because it's both about you, I guess. That's why I want to say they are aligned. They just are polar opposites when it comes to what it is. One's hiding, one couldn't be more in your face. You need to bring the balance in and have those two working as a conjunction together, like geese. So, see how they're forming the V? So I've seen that in the sky my entire life. I mean, you see geese and they have, or other birds I think do it too, but especially geese, and they do that V formation. It is to... Okay, I'm not going to have this technically right, but basically someone takes the lead so that the others can, I don't know, it's like an aerodynamic thing, isn't it? Even transport trucks have it too. If you get close enough to them, you kind of, or race cars, you get in their tailwind and it kind of pulls you along. Okay, I'm going to get out of that right now because I'm probably not explaining it very well, but they're working together. That's my point. Okay. Like race cars will draft off one another. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You need to work these two energies together because it's time for change. And impulsiveness, again, look, Mars in Aries, okay? Like, this is hilarious how cards will come out like this. But yeah, you know what? I think that if you sit and think about it for too long, pile two, you're going to want to stay in this 12th house where it's safe, okay? Where you feel comfortable and safe, and they're going, no, 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 no. Again, here's Mars and Aries coming in going, nope. Look at this horse. It's time to go. It's time to go. It's time for change. You need to get out there and make the change for yourself, but also for others. I feel that's very important that we keep talking about the other. But I just know that Pisces is really has a real connection with the collective, okay? And then we have authenticity. It's time to be yourself. It's time, right? A 10 even. We'll say a 10. 5 for change, 10 here. Even 10 here. I like that. Oh, okay, you guys. Now I need to get into the numbers a little bit. Okay, so we have 10 here. End of a cycle. It's time for you to be the authority in your own life. 10 here. 5 here. It's time for change so that you can be your true authentic self. We come back here, right? 51 is a 6. That is being of service to others. Okay, we've been talking about that, but also see, they're helping one another. We're back to one energy again, me, myself, and I. You take care of you. But what I was trying to say was if you stay there, you might not want to get out. So that's where the impulsiveness comes in because you need to show yourself. I want to read this. The energy of authenticity supports our choice to be genuine and truthful in all aspects of our lives, with others as well as with ourselves. I also talked about the 12th house being of secrets. So for some of you, this whole message may be about finally letting the cat out of the bag, which was another reading I did, right? letting the secret out, okay? Letting it out. No more hiding things. And what this is going to do here with Libra, I love this card, but it's right, cooperation, balance. Look at some of the other words, harmonious, socially aware, okay? You know, I'm just looking at the rest of the words to see if any, graceful, considerate, but balanced. That's what I want it, because it's Libra. It's balanced. It just is. So that's your main message. Okay, pile 2, I love it. That energy coming in is not going to want you to let you away with it. So again, you may start feeling this now. You could feel it all through the month of July. You could feel it after July, okay? This isn't like it has to all happen within the month that we're talking about. It's just maybe that's when you're going to feel it the most, that it's time for me to step out of this 12th house behavior. This cocoon of 12th house. That's what I want to say. The cocoon of Pisces. Okay, so let's get into it. Further confirmation, clarification, any ideas, any ideas, any new ways of doing things. I don't know why now I'm bringing out Aries energies, but confirmation, clarification, or further guidance. Okay. See, I even turned into an Aries there with Mars for a minute. Okay. The Fool. Hello. Oh, I love it when the cards just speak for themselves. It's time for a new start. Ace of Coins. Ace of Coins, new beginnings. That's what aces are. And with the Ace of Coins, it could be a new financial opportunity. That's what this could bring to you. A new career opportunity it could bring. It could just bring groundedness and balance into your life, which is what you need, because being all here isn't great. There always has to be balance. So it could just be referring to that. It could be a sign for you. You know that these endings are coming up, okay? It's time for you to start manifesting what it is that you want to speak your truth about, what it is, how you're going to help the collective in some way. And the Moon. I love that. The Moon, very secretive as well. Or not secretive, but you know, like it's what's hidden, what's dark. Okay, so what I want to say is, this is, look here. We have the wolf, we have the dog. Again, I don't know if those are geese or what they are, bats, owls. I'm not 100% sure what's up there, but regardless, again, kind of like a V formation, they're working together. What I want to say is what was hidden in the dark is going to be coming to light, all right, with the moon. So if it was a new moon where you're planting those seeds, you're eventually going to bring them around to manifestation. And on the full moon, you're going to see the fruits of your labor. And at that time, you're going to let go of what isn't serving you in this, okay? And then you're going to plant new seeds, all right? So it'll work in a cycle. I also have new and full moon readings if you want to check out the playlists for those. But there's one for each month. And I also give ideas based on houses and placements for your rising and sun sign on what it is you need to work on to manifest, the energy that's around you in particular, and what you can let go of on full moons. So I feel like I'm telling you that for a reason too, right? With this imagination in your dreams, it's going to always be a cycle. You're always going to be manifesting, doing something new, then letting something go, making room to manifest again. All right. So that's the main message there for you, pile 2. That was really beautiful. Maybe a little hard for you to come out of this 12th house energy if that's what you're in. Okay. You know, if that's what you're in, but just know that it is possible, because I don't know, I just feel not, and that's purely coming in from God, source, universe, right? From your spirit guide teams, your ancestors, whoever it is for you. They're bringing it through to me right now because there really aren't any cards on the table talking about you needing to get out into the world to share, but you have to. There's something that you need to be sharing. So that's coming in loud and clear. Nomad. The nomadic wanderer lies deep inside, so take the leap now. Don't crawl back and hide. Did you just hear that? Don't crawl back and hide. Be the nomad. But also this could be a message for some of you that this may require travel for you. So for some of you, it could require you're out on the road. I don't know. Or you're going to travel to different countries, cities, whatever it is to do this work. I'm not sure. But pile 2, that is your message. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that this energy, when it comes in, you take advantage of it and work with it in July. Or like I said, it could be starting now. It could run past July. But that when it does hit you, that you take advantage. If you like this, please subscribe, give me a like. And if you know anyone in this situation right now, maybe where you know that they're hiding away, but they've got all of this wonderful stuff, whatever it is, think of creative, dreamy, imaginative, music, art, I don't know what it's going to be, but maybe show them this message because it will help them to break free. Okay? Thank you so much, pile 2. Hi to those of you who chose pile 3. This card, this artwork, riches, Saturn, Capricorn, or the number 10, whichever it is. This would be 10th house with Saturn and Capricorn. But if this card or pile 3, the number appeals to you or appealed to you, then this is going to be your reading. This card goes in, so I'll put it in when it's time. We're doing overall energy. Then I'm reading the cards in pairs. We're going to do live tarot and more oracle at the end. So what is the energy coming in? Now remember, this is energy coming in for you, pile 3. You can choose to work with it or not. All right? It's always a choice. But I'm excited. The first 2 piles, totally different, but beautiful messages, okay? Taurus, all right. I'm a Taurus moon, so when I see Taurus, my heart warms a little, of course. Oh my God, Taurus again. Okay, so it just so happened the other ones I was actually getting like an actual like house, and then I would get a planet or a sign. This one I actually got 2 signs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the second house because that's what Taurus rules, right? The second house. So we'll talk a bit about that as well. Let's get the rest of the cards out. Dynamic. Scorpio, opposite on the wheel to Taurus. Okay, we have surrender, and then this card comes in here, riches. Ooh, well, that could be a message right there. Second chakra and semi-sextile. Okay, so these messages, again, I'm reading them in pairs and then overall, but you can also take individual cards as messages as well if it resonates with you. Never make it fit, but if it does resonate, then by all means. So, okay, well, look, this is Taurus in the second house. So let's just talk about overall energy here for a minute, the energy that's going to be coming in around you. Anything to do with your money, okay? How you earn your income. Anything to do with your personal property or possessions. Anything to do with your core values and then how you value yourself. And financial responsibility. Right? Also being skillful. Tauruses like to be skilled at what it is that they do. They also like to plant seeds and then watch them grow, okay? And when we talk about financial responsibility, it could even be how you spend money. I'm giving you all of these because it's a double whammy. This is double energy. So, yeah. And then let's just talk about Taurus. Taurus, I'm going to say one thing. We love things. We love to touch things. I had sensuality in another card, right? Like we love sensory pleasures, right? We love for all of our senses to be lit up, whether it's food, music, it could be art, it could be material. I keep doing this because I love the way things feel. All right. So that. But one of the great things about Taurus is, like I said, they like to be skilled at things, but also They love to figure out, okay, this is what I have, because having is important. The key phrases I have for Taurus. So what do I have that can grow my finances, that can help support my family better, that can help me grow more abundance? They can be a little bit stubborn sometimes and a little bit determined, but that being determined helps in a lot of areas. But as long as they're not being so determined that it turns into stubbornness and then nothing gets done, because they like to see innovation and new things. I'm going to say that about Taurus. They really do, because they love to learn as well. But they can sometimes be a little slow getting there. That's what I'm going to say. So let's look at the rest of the cards. So thinking of all those things, let's see how this relates. Dynamic. The frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of many different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. That reminds me of your core values. What are your core values? Okay, so we're going, that's message number one. There's going to be more messages in here. But for some of you, it's really going to be starting now, maybe even after July, but definitely within the month of July. You're really going to feel a strong urge or pull, right? Because that energy is going to come in, and I'm going to say it's going to be swirling around you. And you're really going to be questioning yourself, like maybe something's going to happen, or a topic of a conversation is going to come up, and you're going to go, well, I thought I knew what my values were, but geez, once I heard what everyone else was talking about, really, are those my values? I may need to reassess those, okay? You may need to pull a little Mercury retrograde on yourself and do a reassessment of what are my core values for myself, for my family, for the way I do all of those things, earn money, business, my financial responsibility. Yeah, it says investigate like a Scorpio. I love that, right? Because I am a Scorpio too. So you want to get right in there and you want to figure it out, like, well, what are my core values? I feel like I'm questioning everything now. Okay, so you may feel that. Just slow down. One thing about Taurus, they are the steady Eddie. They are methodical, is what I want to say. But they're slow and steady. They're grounded. They love routine, all right? So just take your time and do the investigation, the reassessment. And I think when you do that, you're going to figure out here what it is that you need to surrender. Is it some of your material possessions? Is it some of the core values, or how you value yourself, or how you thought you did? You're going to need to let go of those. Are you going to need to surrender control, maybe for some of you, about the way that you earn your money? Are you being a little too tight with the purse strings and you need to surrender that? Or are you being a little too loose and you need to tighten them up? There's something here I want to say to do, like around your riches, really. So it's money or your possessions. It could be property for you. Maybe you were left a property. Maybe you bought a property and your intention was, I don't know where this is coming from. This is what they're giving me. Your intention was to flip it, and now things have changed in your life, and you're like, you know what? It's not financially responsible for me to keep hanging on to that property, and the way things have changed, I'm not going to have the time or maybe the resources to do it, so I need to offload that. It's surrendering to that, because that could have been a dream for you that you wanted to flip that home. Okay, moving on to second chakra. The energy of the sacral chakra helps us to navigate our lives through our emotion and supports our ability to enjoy the sensual world. Yes, that is Taurus. We love to enjoy the sensual world. Even if it has to do with relationships, that's a different type of sensuality, maybe. Well, not maybe, it is. But we love all of it. We love to enjoy everything that is, you know, where our senses are, you know, running on all cylinders, I'll say, right? Where everything's lit up. I'm just like seeing a board. It's like where everything's lit up and you're just like, oh my God, it's almost sensory overload. But I can't help it. I love it. That's the kind of thing, right? And with this semi-sextile, right? It's allowing yourself. It's allowing yourself to do this. That's what I want to say. I'm going to read what's down here, but for right now, I'm just going intuitively on the card and with the word allowing. It's allowing yourself to surrender. It's allowing yourself to enjoy those pleasures, okay? It's allowing yourself to go back and not be so stubborn that you refuse to reevaluate or reassess or investigate what it is that your core values or how you value yourself. Okay, so that is the main message. Oh, I said I was going to look here. It encourages, sees the potential in, clarifies, yes, gives hope to, compensates, intuits, tempers, responds, cycles, grows, realizes, rewards. Okay? It's allowing yourself all of that. All right, pile 3. Beautiful message here. I love it. Maybe a little bit of hard work in here, going in and doing the reassessment and doing the investigation on yourself. But you know what? I think kind of as with all this Taurus energy, you're going to kind of like doing it. They're not quite a Virgo, but they still like stuff like that. And especially with the Scorpio energy coming in. You see how excited I'm getting? That's because that's me. It's my personality and my emotions all tied together right there. Okay. And then I have a Sag rising, so look out. Then I just get all fired up about it. So, and off I go. All right. Let's get some tarot. Clarification, confirmation, further guidance. Strength. You do. You have the strength, the courage, the oomph, the get up and go. I want to say the stamina to do this for yourself. Yeah. Lay down the burden. Whatever it is that is not bringing you pleasure, whatever it is that does not feel like it is you at your core, your values, whatever it is that maybe you just literally in material goods need to get rid of and to live a more simple, fulfilled life, get rid of it, donate it, whatever it is. But it's time to, this card, I'm saying it's the 10 of Wands. It's time to lay them down. It's time to surrender them. I love how that just came under that card. Perfect. And the 3 of Swords. Interesting. What do we feel about that? Okay, I'm seeing the Libra sign up here and what it's making, and Libra rules Taurus, just so you know. I want to say it's getting back to balance. With the 3 of Swords, you think of it, it's like, you know, having the 3, it's pain, it's suffering. For some of you, maybe that was the case, okay, or is the case. For other of you, it's not. It's I almost want to go back to here again with, I don't know what the situation was that happened or the topic of conversation that maybe happened, or these 2 things that are going to happen. And I said, it's really going to make you go, oh, geez, like, who am I? It may be a little hurtful and painful when you realize who you are. Okay. You might not look like what you're looking at in the mirror for that moment. It might knock you back a little bit, but here's the thing, you're going to surrender it and let it go. Okay. So that's what I want to say about this 3 of Swords. I think that it could throw you for a bit of a loop, which kind of puts you into the 3 of Swords energy where you're like, whoa, what? It could even have to do with how you earn your money, your income, whatever it is too. Something could throw you for a loop and it's going to be hurtful. But then you're going to realize, no, I can bounce back. I just need to reassess and figure out what it is that I need to do. I need to surrender what wasn't working for me or what's been taken from me, right? And and let it go. Okay, let's get one more card before we go. Love this message for you, pile 3. If I chose a pile, it would be this. Well, I would hope it would be this pile. Because I think there's always work to be done, right? Reassessing, investigating yourself. Don't be afraid to ask others either. I always say, but ask the people that you know and trust that give you good advice, not the people that are going to say what you want to hear, or not the people that are going to say mean or hurtful things because of jealousy and insecurity. We all have people like that in our life. Pick the sound, the solid sound, reliable people. Okay. Let's get our Divine Doors card here and see what else they have to say. This is a beautiful energy for July. Walkabout. You discover your path in sacred walkabout. I'm going to stop right there and say this is what we're talking about, right? Going within, doing that assessment, reassessment, investigation. Maybe they want you to go out and do it in nature. Maybe you think best when you're out walking or doing something in an athletic or exercise type of way, all right? But you discover your path in sacred walkabout. The trees are your people. The earth is your tribe. The indigenous lessons you find. In the indigenous lessons, you find the will to survive, the strength. Soak it out in nature and let them talk. Let the trees talk to you. It's one of my new things. I've been saying that these past few readings. Get out into nature and let nature speak to you. Take your shoes off. Put your feet on the ground. Get grounded. Okay? Just let that energy come in. Doesn't mean you're going to sit there and feel anything. Some people do. Some people actually feel the energy. Others you may not. And don't be discouraged. But maybe just sit there in quiet contemplation and meditation and really think about this. Okay, that is your message, pile 3. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please throw me a like. You can also subscribe to my channel if you wish. And if you know anybody in this situation or a situation like this, or even talking about this, please pass this message to them because it could give them something, a little tidbit that might help them out in their lives. So thank you again for spending time with me, and I'll see you in your next energy reading.